Can you imagine if Ed Woodward comes up to you and he goes, right, Si, I want to buy your house, 30 grand, take it or leave it. You'd be like, fucking, you can leave it? You just shut the door behind him? Are you fucking kidding me? Speaking of United, it's been reported on Sky Sports earlier on today that, quote, United are adamant that they won't pay over the odds for Jadon Sancho, with the senior officials insisting that they refuse to part with more than £50 million for the England winger. So my question to you is, will they get him for 50 million, and why not?
It's fucking... Do you know the rest of the world? I always think Man United, do they think the rest of the world are fucking stupid? Yes, you see, everyone knows you got a shitload of money, and English players have got a fucking premium. Those two things combined, Sancho, you're not getting 50 million. Do you know what I mean? What I will caveat that with is, any other season there is no way you're getting 50 million. The fact COVID has hit and it's financially hit clubs, and you don't know how much it's hit Man United, how much it's hit. You don't know what the bank, what the accounts look like. So it might well be they might be telling the truth, and that's going to be the reason why. But Dortmund will just be like, fuck you, you know what I mean? We're not going to bother. You're not getting him for 50 million. We're going to keep him. What is he? 18, 19? You know what I mean? He's going to be. He's one of the, what is he, a top assist player, creator in Bundesliga, and he just scores goals, and he's in England international. He's an attacking player. He's one of the best attacking players young attacking players in the world. 50, you're not having him. Do you know what I mean? No.
I think I think you're right. He averages like a goal or an assist a game, something like that. So he's a young English player. You've got that English tax that goes along with the price. Yeah. That alone is 50 million. I don't understand how they think that this bid could be anywhere acceptable. Like, obviously I'm reading like a couple of the tweets, and United fans are like rightly questioning why they could pay 80 million pounds for Maguire and not stump up the cash for Sancho. But like you say, COVID kind of dealt them the hands that they're given at the moment. Like, obviously Liverpool are losing out on Timo Werner, and you've got to understand that these are the times where clubs are not readily got the cash available, whereas Chelsea, they've not been able to spend for a couple of transfer windows now. They're able to get the Timo Werners of the world. But I'm in two minds. I say kind of good on United for not doing what they typically do. Like, maybe they've learned from the last couple of seasons, it's kind of like they're not willing to be everyone's piggy bank, like they used to be. They'd go out and just beat Man City to Sanchez, for example. And maybe they learn the lessons, but 50 million's an insult. I kind of find it hard to believe that they'll get a second crack if it is serious. Like, obviously, you've got Sky sources that are saying that, and you never know whether the Sky sources are accurate or not. They're just pulling out quotes just for clickbait, like we'll likely do for this video. But share, subscribe, follow this shit. But if they are doing that kind of thing, you've got to wonder what Ed Woodward's he's playing at. Like, we all know that he is second to everyone. Like, you've got the second to none. He's second to everyone when it comes to like negotiations. Like, you've got to wonder what his wages. He must be on minimum wage, because there's no way that he will have negotiated himself a salary that is ridiculous, because he's shit at negotiating. I don't understand.
He just gets fingered every time, doesn't he?
Yeah,
every time he goes like.
Right, so I'm just gonna Google his salary. Right, so he is on £3.1 million a year. 3.1 million. Now, you can't tell me he negotiated that contract. Whoever negotiated his contract needs to negotiate the Sancho deal, because again, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing deal. I don't know whether it was wife or what, but it's absolutely embarrassing for a club of United stature to come with that deal. And what it reminds me of Luis Suarez and Arsenal. It reminds me of when they came in and they were like, right, £40 million all right, well, that's not going to get it. Well, 40 million and £1. Like, you just can't lose all respect.
Yeah.
For the bidding club. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you made some great points there. I think the Timo Werner one's interesting. I know Liverpool said, I know James Pearce, who's like really close to Liverpool, works for the Athletic. By the way, Athletic, and I know we're not going to plug anyone, but if you don't, I think it's a really good bit of journalism there, and I have subscribed for it. But James Pearce used to be at Echo, but now at Athletic. He spread reports in Liverpool, and he said that before the Werner thing, he said Liverpool were not going to, once the pandemic hit, he said Liverpool were not going to do any major business because of COVID. And we go back to FSG being so clear with their strategy and philosophy, they planned short-term, long-term, everything within the sort of however it worked, whether we're back in a month, whether the season gets null and voided, all of that. And we're like, we're not going to... So the Timo Werner thing was irrelevant. We were never going to get him. Do you know what I mean? It was like, we can wait till the following season. But I think his clause went down. His release clause went down if he stayed another year. So obviously, Leipzig thought, right, well, Chelsea want him, you're fucking going to him. Do you know what I mean? When you get the extra 15 million. Yeah, exactly. Fuck off. Just coming back to Sancho, though, I just think 50 million, when you break it down, you're like, Werner's going for 50 million. You go for Sancho the same. You've put Wan-Bissaka went for 45. Maguire went for 80. Fred, what did you pay 35 for him? And you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So the thing with Man United is you are not one of the best teams in the world anymore. You are financially, but as a team and you are not going to get the top players are not going to come to you. You're going to get those players. You are where Liverpool were 10 years ago. Those players that were like sort of on the second level, second tier, that at some point will want to move on. Like Pogba will want to move on to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? You can imagine Bruno Fernandes, if he does really well, he'll end up going to Barcelona or someone like that. So with the Sancho thing, I think you're really interesting point. They're not going to get a second bite of the cherry. Mm-hmm. You buy him now, or if you don't, next season when he's had another season at Dortmund, or if another big club comes, is going there. Just giving you an example. You've got Liverpool, Man City, Barcelona, Man United. Who are you going to go for? Man United are the bottom of the list there. Do you know what I mean? You're the bottom of the list, and then you're fighting for one of them other three.
Yeah, and also again, it's soured negotiations with Borussia. If this is true, like obviously we're speculating, we're going off the assumption that this information is true, but again, like if you take away the player's desire to go anywhere, you look at the negotiating club, and if they've come in with a £50 million bid, they're taking the piss. It's but the question is, how much do you think he's worth?
That's a better question. I would say in the current market, he's closer to double that than he is 50. He's closer to 100 than he is 50.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you take age, the fact is English, it adds a premium to it, and the fact he's done it for a consistent amount of time. So I think he did it last year. He was brilliant last year as well, wasn't he? Towards the sort of back end of last year, and then this season he's just been brilliant throughout. And it's in the top European league. He's an England international as well. He's 90? He's got at least another 15 years at the top level. Do you know what I mean? And then it comes back to that resale value as well. So say you buy him for if you buy him for, say Dortmund beat. I think the figure Brandon was about 80 million his release clause or something like that. Say you buy him for 80 million, you keep him for 5 years. You're going to sell him for at least 80 million again. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's like, for 50 million, it's like Dortmund will be like, you fucking serious? It's like Man United every fucking, now that they shit, it's like every summer it comes out, we're buying this player, and if you actually made up the teams, the players that they were linked with, they'd be like the European champions for the fucking next 10 years, but it never, and they end up with fucking Daniel James,
Can you imagine if Ed Woodward comes up to you and he goes, right, Si, I want to buy your house, 30 grand, take it or leave it. You'd be like, fucking, you can leave it? You just shut the door behind him? Are you fucking kidding me? Get your ass gone. 30 grand?
Yeah.
You'd just be like, fuck off. Anyway, but...
Just to let everyone know, it's worth more than that. It really is more than that. I don't live in a shithole.
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm not a student anymore.
But I'm looking at United, and I'm looking at their forward line and the positions that they would be looking to improve if they were going for Jadon Sancho. They might not even be interested in him. I think they are, but they might not be interested in him. But I'm thinking, who would he be potentially replacing, because he's either going to play on one wing or he's going to be playing on the other wing. He's not going to be playing as a central striker. So he's competing with the likes of Martial, Rashford, James, Greenwood, who seems to be doing well on one of the flanks. I think Igalo is probably their only out-and-out striker, and he's not actually their player, is he? So, like, you know, you've got plenty of options on those wings. Again, they might not be of the quality, but are they looking to ship out? I would have thought, more importantly, they would have went for a number 9. They would have went for a Haaland.
Yeah.
Do you think they need a Sancho?
I mean, it's just because they've got a player in that position doesn't mean you don't go for someone better if he's available. That's the issue. I mean, you've got Daniel James playing. So at the moment, it is front three. I mean, it's generally Rashford on the left, Martial up front. We don't really like to play up front, and then it's on the right. It's either going to be Daniel James or Mason Greenwood. You know, one of them two. So like Sancho. So Sancho is an absolute upgrade on both James and Greenwood. Martial's not going to be playing as a 9 forever. You've got Rashford. Rashford will end up being the 11, the wide left for him. And if you get Sancho, you've got the 9. You need one striker. You need up for the 9. Do you know what I mean? So I think on the right, and I think Sancho, if you get him yet, but is it a priority? You could make a case for it. You know what I mean? But I think for them, you're sort of thinking a really quality midfielder and a 9. That's what they really need. You know, just to get him somewhere where they can regularly be in the top 4. Not even, I'm still short for the title, but regularly top 4.
I would go with a number 9, because for me, they need goals, and you know, Haaland. But then again, there's a dearth of quality world class number 9s. So much so, I think this is probably the worst in modern history for world class number 9s. Like, I can't even think of anyone. Like,
you know,
I think of a couple of them.
Do you know, it's a really interesting point you made about the number 9s. If I think about the number 9s now, I think of the great number 9s that were great 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no one that, you know, so if we talk about, if I think of the top 5 number 9s in the world, I'll go Suarez, Lewandowski, Aguero, and I'm struggling after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I say really top 9s. You've got like Firmino's like a sort of a 9.5 or a 10, you know, slightly different position. It's like that number 9. Haaland's burst onto the scene and everyone seems brilliant. Do you know what I mean? He's going to go, but I'm just struggling. I mean, Ronaldo's turned himself into a 9, but I don't think of him as a 9, and he's obviously converted himself in that position.
Just a point, interesting. 4 of those players that you've named there: Ronaldo, Suarez,
Lewandowski, Aguero,
all over the age of 30. You've got to wonder where that next generation comes from. You know, you've got again just your Haaland and Mbappe. I'd say they're probably the only 2 that I can think of that.
But then
Mbappe,
but then Mbappe's not your 9, is he? He's not a typical 9. He can play out wide. When I'm talking, I know when we're talking about 9s, we're talking about those sort of old-fashioned Alan Shearer, Lewandowski, Christian Vieri, do you know what I mean? Batistuta, those 9s down the middle.
Just there to score goals.
We'll play between the width of the penalty boxes, and that's the area they're playing, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't, apart from Haaland, I'm struggling, I really am. You know, you can name 9s, but I'm not. You'd struggle to find a top-class 9 that's sort of under 25.
If any of you guys can think of where you think United can improve on the most, just shut it in the comments. It'd be interesting to see where you think needs to be improved, and any suggestions on players that you think United should sign. I think it's quite interesting because you know, probably more United fans are going to be watching this and they're going to be tuning in saying, "Wow, these dickheads wearing tops talking on United." But we just had to whip them out just for this week, and long may it continue. But I think that wraps it up. Please subscribe, like, do all the stuff down below. I'm Kristian. This has been Ty. Nice having you.
Yeah, see you guys.